Kia koutou nei, e ui nei tēnei pō, tēnā koutou, ka tautoko ngā mi I kia koutou nei mai a tātou nei iwi, o Ngāti Rangatira me te Aotearoa nui tonu, no reira tēnā no tātou. To our host, the Right Honourable Trevor Mallard, members of the Diplomatic Corps, members of Parliament, exhibiting artists and organisers of the evening's event. I acknowledge the United Nations Association of New Zealand and thank you for this opportunity to promote cross-cultural dialogue on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals through the exhibition Whenua Ūkaipō. The title Whenua Ūkaipō for Māori speaks of the land on which you were nurtured. For refugees and immigrants, this becomes a metaphor for retaining the precious values and beliefs of your forebears. While the land of your birth may be left elsewhere, you must invest your time in the new lands and the new communities, contributing strength and richness. 17 guest artists converge to express their perspectives of humanity's relationship to the land. The exhibition at the old Public Trust Hall on the corner of Lambton Quay and Stout Street has been transformed into an amazing exhibition. At this stage, I'd like to call upon Rob Thorne, to come forward.
Whenua Ūkaipō offers Indigenous perspectives on the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals. The artworks inspire and challenge us to be conscious of our individual responsibility to Papatūānuku, our Earth Mother, and to really consider what is the world that we are creating for future generations. Mō tātou, ā muka uri a muri ake nei, for us and the generations after us. Tēnā koutou katoa.
To consider what is the stance that we are willing to take in this point in place now for te taiao in our natural environment.
We as a Māori culture are a warrior culture, and those characteristics of true warriorship such as courage, such as bravery and protection of the whānau, protection of those who can't protect themselves.
Maybe just quickly say, I think some of the most important things around climate action or the Sustainable Development Goals generally are empathy, cooperation, love.
And how everything is interconnected. And being able to observe that interconnectedness through something as simple as this shell.
And really our work in this space has been driven by the belief that the community sector and wider civil society are fundamental in the implementation and delivery of the SDGs in Aotearoa.
So it's about understanding and acknowledging different perspectives on life, different worldviews, and understanding that what we might bring with us as expectations might not be the same as the people that we come to visit.
So mahi kakai is about understanding our environment. I've done a lot of work on tuna, which comes into a whole series of being aware of when is the right time to go inland. To understand our people is to also know that mahi kakai and living by the maramataka, living by the moon, was a way of life for our ancestors. That's how we lived, that's how we survived, and there was a time to work, time to rest, and a time to share kai.
In this particular installation is the digital reo and signs, road signs. So everything is mapped and reorientated around rongo, the symbolism around the garden.
Everything is connected. You can't separate anything. And we need to kind of be wary of the warnings that the earth is telling us, and we need to change our habits for the next generations to come.
So 20th century was the century that humans consume lots of materials taken from the natural environment and also put back with like waste and to the environment back. And with this unresponsible consumption production, the lots of environmental impacts as well as socio-economic impacts created in the world.
I'll talk about some other ideas and just the importance of imagination. Because I do think imagination is a really important thing that we can use to help solve a lot of the world's problems.
So I've recently started to engage with local tangata whenua as well on ideas what can we do to minimize all the different pressures on seaweed.
And I just wanted to tell you a very short story today about how through community engagement we learned a clearer perspective on Indigenous business.
And that cooperation rather than competition is the predominant survival aspect of human evolution.
So I'm going to take you on a little journey down to Antarctica, talk a little bit about the expedition that we went on first, and then how we sort of weave this imagery into an installation in New York. And there's all the projectors. We had about 22 projectors. And each projector is probably, I think, 20 times as powerful of this. Like it's a lot of light because you're competing with exterior lights. And this is where Ren comes in.
People have this idea of icebergs and the ice as being quite static, but they're actually, you describe them as being alive and living in a way.
I think a lot of our kōrero that we've had over the week is really about ka rakatahi, our rangatahi, and I think it's critical and it's becoming more and more relevant is how do we engage our rangatahi in these issues around sustainability and te taiao.
That what totally binds communities, binds humanity, although we deny it and fight over it, is love, and that's the way we need to proceed.
But poetry is the way that I connect ideas with people. And so I made 2 poems for this panel. The first is based on the UN 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And, like zero hunger, no poverty, good health and well-being. And they're all on those really colourful squares that you get given at the entrance. But to me, these were all empty. I'm like, well, they're so abstract. I need to concretise this so I can engage. So this, the title of this poem is a quote from Marianne Williamson. Every problem emerges from the false belief we are separate from one another. Every answer emerges from the realisation we are not.
Today we are using the powers of Zoom to bring 2 of our wonderful international artists to the gallery today to share their thoughts and their work with us.
My dream for, as a sustainable development goal, where we're looking at inclusive cities, we're looking at urban environments that are safe and resilient and inclusive. how will they accommodate for, say, people, for example, from the place where I come from or where I was born?
What this pandemic has taught us, if anything, is it's really highlighted the United Nations sustainability for 2030, because we have to really stop. And this, I end my show, or I'm ending this exhibition with this particular image for the mere fact that it is shut down. That city has shut down. And it was time for our earth to start to heal again.
Vote of thanks to the talented people involved in this amazing exhibition. And the exhibition marks, and this is what's particularly significant for us, the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and it honours the 75th anniversary of the United Nations.
And human rights understood as the 3 R's: relationships, responsibilities, and rights. They can help us restore our connectedness.
To brave the dark, all the way to the bottom, so you might rise with the jewels, so you might surface with the key. I will bring you home.
We started off with a whole series of incantations, opening up this wonderful, beautiful exhibition. And so on that note, we'll also close it off with one incantation. Nō reira, whakarono rā e tāne ki te ahurewa ki te pūkena ki te wānana ki te taura ki te tauira. Tipu nā pū nā weo ngā rito nā take i te ororo, ui te ororo. Tēnei rā te whakahua kei nā maunga tapu, o tipua o te rani, tawhito o te rani, takea mai ko te tapu, ko te mana, ko te Māori o nā atua. I hohoua mai no i o matua kore, a whakatākina ki e nei taura, kia mahea rā te hua mā kihi, ki runa ki tēnei papa. Papa tātaki no whatinuku, no whatirani, ea tēnā whakaeke kia tū ki te rani. Uhi, wero, tau mai te Māori, haumi e, hui e, tai ki e. I now declare this exhibition officially closed. Kia ora tātou.
Kia ora.